Bonjour à toutes et tous, vous écoutez First Print, votre podcast comics préféré pour une nouvelle émission du format SuperFriends. Vous connaissez l'adage français jamais 2 sans 3, et puisque nous avions déjà reçu 2 fois Will McPhail dans notre podcast, nous sommes ravis de l'accueillir une 3e fois lors de son dernier passage en France. Et la dernière fois, on s'était vu pour parler de Love and Vermine, qui était encore disponible seulement en anglais, et justement 404 Graphiques vient de publier une version française augmentée avec une section bonus qui est inédite, qui n'était pas présente dans l'édition originale, et on se dit que ce serait une bonne occasion de refaire une interview un petit peu autour de ce projet, de son travail de dessinateur de presse, d'autant plus que je suis sûr que vous n'avez absolument pas écouté la précédente interview qui était en VO, donc j'espère que vous écouterez celle-là un petit peu plus. N'hésitez pas en tout cas à aller lire L'amour et la vermine chez 404 Graphiques. Le générique se lance et on se retrouve en VO avec Monsieur Will. So this is really nice to have you back here in our podcast, Will. How are you?
Third time, the three-peat, they call it.
Yeah, third time's the charm, as they say.
Yeah.
Are you still happy to be with me?
My hands are, I've got lube.
Yeah, but speak in the mic if you want to make
I've got lube on my hands.
Yeah, so you got lube because just before the podcast, Will had the great idea to just open a condom.
Not just any condom. I don't do that at the start of every interview.
Yeah.
To protect myself from the interviewer,
So,
in case he asks too many penetrating questions.
Oh,
Boom.
damn. You're too good.
Yeah.
But we are going to be, because we already did an interview about Love and Vermin, but it was at the time that the book was not published in French. So I really think that not many people listened to the previous interview, which is a shame, actually, because there's a very nice story about baby hamster zombies. But we are going to be talking about the book a little bit more, but without the same questions.
Okay.
So my first question would be because we spoke before about art, drawing, cartoons, but not really about humor. And I wanted to know what's your history with humor. Like, were you already funny when you were a child or not? Is it something that you learned to be? Or?
Do you know, that is such an interesting question, because I think the first time that I was told that I was funny was when I was about 18 or 19, something like that. And I think up until that point, I was just weird. And there's a point where you become an adult where that turns into funny. Yeah, I remember being with my high school core group of friends, and one of them, who I considered to be the funny one, said, "Well, we know Will's the funny one." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm the funny one. I can't believe I had no idea." And I think up until that point, I was just a weird kid. My mom talks about just how strange I was as a child, and
how would you describe it?
We have this saying in "Away with the Fairies." Do you have that?
No, I don't think
Away
so.
with the Fairies. It's usually used with children where they're just in another world and not taking part in conversations and just completely away with their imagination. We call it Away with the Fairies, and that's what I was like a lot. I think the core memory that my mum always gives me was that the first book I ever properly wrote, I can't remember if we talked about this.
No.
First book I ever properly wrote, I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And
truly a bestseller, I guess.
Bestseller. I should re-release it now. And it was called How to Look After Your Snake. Snake spelt wrong. Sneck. How to Look After Your Sneck, it was called. I was 5 years old. And I just came home to my mum and presented her with this book, and she must have been terrified of me. Like a 5-year-old who'd never seen a snake before.
Yeah, that was my question. Did you have a snake?
No.
So what would you? Why would you write about?
Why? That's what I'm saying. I was a weird kid.
Okay, so
and I came home and it was how to clean it, how to feed it, how to groom it, and it was just drop it in the bath and move it around, and then it's all animal husbandry, and then the last page is suddenly a riddle about snakes, and it's here's how you clean it, here's how you look after it, and then the last page is I am long and thin, I have a red tongue, what am I? Yeah, I mean, imagine me coming home to my mum with that being like, I made something, mother. She must have been terrified of me. But yeah, I don't know if that's an answer to my evolution of humor. But I'm just got, I was a weird kid. And growing up, I don't know if it's
so did she put you in a school for special kids after that?
Sent immediately away. No, but interestingly enough, my sister did buy me a snake when I was 21 as a result of that book. They found that book, presented me with the book, and bought me a snake. But yeah, the humor, it's just like that was like the currency of my family and of my town, my little town in the north of England. Like if you weren't funny, then you just that was everything. That was bigger than money, bigger than love, bigger than like friendship. It was everything, just like how funny you were. And that was like the cultural currency.
But would you say is it something like something really important to you in life in general?
Yeah. It's like honestly, it's the number one thing. And like I've wrestled with it a lot in my life in respect of, I don't know if the accusation is always that it's used as a sort of a defense mechanism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Humor. And like in my first book, Ode Dawn, that was like, I used that as one of the mechanisms with Wren, that she would obscure her true self by joking about stuff and being funny. But, and so I always thought that, but the older I get, the more I just see it as just a total virtue in people. And it's not always a defense mechanism. Sometimes it's just like trying to make the other person that you're with enjoy their time. You know what I mean? It's actually like a selfless thing to do. Yeah. It's the way my brain is wired. I can't change it.
Well, you could, you know, with maybe like electric therapy or something, something like that.
Clockwork Orange style. Yeah.
You could try.
And somebody pins my eyes open. I'm not funny anymore.
And have you ever thought about the evolution of humor? Because there are some stuff that we used to laugh about, like when you were a kid, that we don't anymore, or even so. And I don't know, because like you said, it can be a mechanism of defense. It also can be a weapon.
Yeah.
So, and have you thought about how you would use humor growing up and using it in your professional work?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It can be one of like the most deadly tools, can't it? Because like the golden rule of humor and comedy is to punch up and not down. And if you find yourself punching down, particularly at a younger age, and it goes well, as in you get a laugh, that can just like destroy you as a person, because it just turns you into the bully and like ruins other people's lives.
So were you a bully?
No, I at school, I was like, I was completely oblivious to anything that was going on. I was away with the fairies, as they say. Yeah, like people often ask me if I was like the class clown, and I really wasn't. I was just like in a world of my own, imagining things and like not taking part, honestly. But yeah, and so I pride myself on never trying to punch down. But the truth is, I don't really punch up either. Like not much of my comedy is at positions of power. In fact, it's mostly like self-deprecating. So I'm not punching up or down. I'm punching myself. I guess. Yeah.
Because you're the easiest target for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But you talk about humor evolving, and it's not just in terms of like the history of us as a civilization, but it evolves day to day, year to year. Like you sometimes read a book or read a comic that was written in, you know, the pandemic or whatever, and the pandemic had a very specific style of humor, particularly in the UK. I don't know if it was the same in France, but like all over Twitter, because everyone was locked in, and there was this like communal humor that everybody just borrowed. This kind of like catchphrase based sort of hold my beer stuff, you know, that kind of thing. And or like you're drunk 2021, go home, that kind of thing. And people would just borrow that, and that was humor. But when you read something that uses that now, it's so dated already because we've moved on, and like humor changes incredibly quickly. It's one of the more challenging things about doing a compilation of cartoons, is that you're trying to pick the more timeless ones that aren't jokes about Trump or, you know, very specific dated things. Yeah.
And I wanted to know also, how do you keep up to date with the evolution of what's funny and what doesn't. Even more in the internet age, when you've got the memes, and something that you could be funny with 2 months ago would already be outdated now. So how do you keep it?
I mean,
your drawings?
Honestly, like I think my outlook on it is to just ignore those trends of humor and just try and do stuff that makes me laugh in a timeless way that would always be funny, rather than trying to latch on to things like that. It's funny you talk about memes. That's one of my real pet peeves, when people describe my stuff as a meme. I don't know why. I know that's petty, but somebody's like, "Oh, I saw this meme today," and then they tag me in one of my cartoons. I'm like, "Oh, it's not a meme." Don't say that.
It's not it's a cartoon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be classed.
It's elevated humor.
Yeah, I know. It's petty and snobbish, isn't it?
No, because there are some. One I'm thinking of is the waiter. When you got a couple in the restaurant, so he says, "I'm not racist," and the waiter arrived with the butt on the plate.
Yeah.
This is really meme.
Yeah. I guess it could be. Yeah. I don't know what distinguishes whether it's a meme or
because it's a sentence you hear often in discussions in real life that you can totally reproduce it.
That plays on an existing understood bit of thing. Yeah. Well, I guess I do that quite a lot. Yeah, they're all memes.
Okay, so you're just a meme.
I'm a memist.
A memist. That's what I'm going to incur you right now for the rest of the interview. So there's something that is really specific to the French version of Love and Vermine, that it has a bonus section which wasn't present in the original version.
Mm-hmm.
How did you choose these new drawings to be? And I don't know if you had something in mind, I've got to choose something that will make the French laugh. I don't know if you spent enough time in France to see how we react to humor or not.
Yeah, definitely not. But I don't I don't see British people react to my humor. It's a weird thing about the internet is that I never really see people reacting to my work. So I certainly wouldn't know if the French people did. The way I did it is I saw how one French person did, which was Nicholas.
Which has a very, very specific kind of humor. He's not like the usual French guy.
Exactly.
He's really a high top French.
Okay. Or for echelon, yeah. It was basically working with Nicholas and just deciding which one were best. I'd done a lot of work since I'd done all those other cartoons.
Yeah.
So it's choosing which ones got through the batch. Yeah. We're right now sat in a exhibition of all the cartoons. And I'm looking to see if there were any of the bonus ones in here. I can't see any.
I think that
was that one there with the?
I'm a big asshole, and I think he is in the bonus section.
Separating the art from the artist. One of those, yeah. I think that I can't remember who had betrayed me in that cartoon, but it was somebody. So yeah, it was the decision was me basically putting forward my favorites and then seeing what Nicholas likes.
And is it something that you have to negotiate with your publisher?
Yeah.
Oh no, or is it easy to do?
It was easy because I trust Nicholas' opinion, but
so you're one of the few guys that do. Many were betrayed by the foul Nicholas.
He's catching some strays in this interview.
He's not here to answer,
exactly,
And since I know he's not going to listen, so we can say anything you want about him.
He's standing outside the window right now, giving me the slit throat sign.
He doesn't know what's happening to him.
That was the process. Yeah,
it's just like a basic negotiation, and I guess
there was a couple that Nicholas was like, "What does this mean?" And I was like, "I don't know, but you think you should put it in."
Yeah, because there are a lot of kind of humors, there's absurd, and there are more
it was a
grounded humor.
Exactly.
And I wanted to know, what's your favorite kind of humor?
The absurd, yeah. They are my absolute favorite. Yeah, there's a chapter in the book called Nonsense.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite cartoons, probably, I think, out of the whole lot. Yeah, the one that Nicholas was like, "What is this?" And I did it go in? I can't remember. We'll find out. But it was, it's a bunch of crabs, and they're sort of reenacting and filming Lincoln, the film. and they're saying, one of them's the Lincoln Crab himself is saying, I just don't know if this is our story to tell. And when I was drawing that, it was making me laugh so much, and nobody else likes it. That happens a lot. That happens a lot. But it's the thing, I can't remember if we've spoken about this before, but I just, I've realized, just practically speaking, that if I want to do this job for my whole life, and if I'm gonna, then I need to enjoy it. I just have to. Otherwise, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it forever, and if I'm going to do it, I've got to be doing stuff that makes me laugh.
Yeah, you were telling us that that's how you proceed, because you're only drawing something that would make you laugh.
Yeah. So it's selfish in a way, because I'm in a big part of me is not doing the work for the people that are consuming it. I'm doing it for me. But
well, since you did a whole graphic novel in which the main character is basically yourself.
No, he's not.
I think we can assume that you were selfish from the beginning.
That is told completely from his perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Never shows anybody else.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
And I also had another question for the because we already spoke about your love about rats and pigeons, but there's also a section with the other animals, and you wrote a short introduction about that you were studying biology and zoology even more, and that fascinates me because I'm a PhD in biology.
Did not know that.
And I find it so hard to draw animals, and I was really wondering if you just learned to draw animals during these classes of zoology, or if you try to complete your learning afterwards, because it's kind of realistic how you draw them.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, anatomically.
Yeah,
the very realistic. It's both. Yes, I was during my zoology degree. I studied zoology at Glasgow for 4 years, and I spent the entire time just drawing cartoons, not listening to lectures, not doing stuff, because I knew that was what I was going to do. But it's partly that, and partly my uncle Roger McPhail is a wildlife artist, and so I grew up watching him, and I would draw animals with him all the time. And he taught me that if you wanted to draw an animal, like, you needed to know its anatomy, like its skeleton and what it looks like. And if you knew the skeletal structure of an animal, then you would always get like the posture right, because you know where everything sits. And so it basically came from that, and then studying zoology. I draw them very lifelike. The animals in particular are not very cartoonish. Yeah, I like to draw them like they actually look, except with my big eyes,
and they don't, except for their faces, they don't like they're not anthropomorphized.
Yes, exactly. Except for the faces, because that's one of the another thing that annoys me is those the sort of Disney remakes that are live action.
I don't watch them.
Well, I've watched a couple of them. Like I watched The Little Mermaid, and it does not work, because they're doing a fish that is completely lifelike as a fish, and animals, God love them, they have emotionless faces, inscrutable faces. Like the reason the original Disney's work is because they were animated and they could look around and emote. And now you see these remakes and it's just a fish, like blank stare, singing a song. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And so I draw them with big expressions and like wide eyes, and
apart from the absurd, you also seem to be an expert in like dark humor, because in the section about love, it really seems to me that there are some of the most darkest cartoons, because I don't know, maybe because I don't know what's your opinion about love in general, like is it a good thing or not, but it's also related to loneliness and to very, very sad feelings also, because when love stories end bad, so you can be at your worst. And I was wondering also how you manage the balance between something that should be funny, but if you just look at what's happening in the cartoon, it should make you sad instead of laugh.
Yeah. How do I answer that? Yeah, well, I've got the truth is that just fundamentally, I find the things that go wrong in romance funnier than the things that are going right. I think it wouldn't be funny to write about a relationship that's just fine and going and going well and healthy. Like that, for whatever reason, I guess the darkness in me that isn't funny to me, and so I only write about either when a relationship is going wrong or when somebody doesn't have it and when they're desperate. We've spoken about it before, but like desperation is very funny to me. Like there's one in the book where a guy is alone in bed and he's screaming at the loveless void next to him to stop hogging the sheets. And I think like that sort of desperation and anxiety around it is very funny to me.
But do you feel like these cartoons aim to like comfort some people that are going through a bad situation, or they can make them feel worse about themselves because it tells you that yes, you are alone, and that can be a very, very hard feeling.
Yeah. It might be. Hopefully it brings them comfort. I tell you who it does not bring comfort: the people who I've been in a relationship with and are drawing the cartoons about. There's been a couple of occasions where somebody's been like, is that one about me? And I'm like, sorry. Yes.
But you say sorry, but you're not.
Sorry, but I'm not. But I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah.
There's a section at the beginning that we already talked about your brave little opinions of a white cishet male in the 20th century.
Yeah.
And you told me that you didn't want to be tagged as a political cartoonist, but we can see that many of these cartoons are quite political, indeed, especially
do you think?
Especially when you tackle the man-women relationship and the mansplaining and the stuff and stuff like that. One of the most funny is like the man bragging like he achieved like he could remove the small poop pamphlet on the toilet with his pee, like. So it's also like very basic humor, like poo and pee pee. That's like, okay, I'm a child. Okay, I'm 35, but I'm still a child. Yeah. But it also speaks about the relationship about men bragging about doing very little stuff and stuff like that. So it seems to me like you would be almost like an hypocrite to say that you don't want to be tagged as a political cartoonist.
Yeah,
because that's not everything that you do, but it's quite a lot of what you do.
Yeah, it's sort of social politics, I guess, is what it would be.
Yeah, no, you're not talking about geopolitical stuff.
But there's a lot of that. I do a lot about social dynamics and male roles versus female roles and the stereotypes that exist there. I care about that stuff. I was raised by a single mum and just like surrounded by very strong women when I was growing up, and so when it meant that was the norm to me, and that it meant that when I grew up and sort of left home and actually encountered like sexism and misogyny for the first time, I was like, this is bizarre to me. People talking about what women can and can't do, whereas I'd been raised by this woman and other women who had done everything, and so it was bizarre to me when I got it, and so that I naturally my work went in that direction. I will say that there's been a evolution of how I talk about that kind of thing that you'll probably be able to see in this book, actually, which was that when I first started, I would do these sort of vaguely feminist or like female empowering cartoons, and I would depict it in a way that I regret now, which is that I would depict it as a man saying something stupid at one end of the table and a woman at the other end of the table like silently rolling her eyes at the guy. And I thought because the joke was on the guy, then I was in the right, and that, I was being an ally because he's stupid and she's obviously not. But it took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that there are no women in my life, the women that I look up to, the women that are my friends and in my family, that sit on one end of a table and silently roll their eyes at people. But the women in my life just don't do that. They are the life of the party. They're the funniest person in the room. They're the silliest person in the room, and they're the smartest. And I'm depicting them as this silent, sort of dismissive person, and they just never were that. And so, like, as I've matured, I've realized that the real position of power is to be the funny and even the silly one. And so my more recent cartoons, I'm always trying to give the female characters, the silly role, saying the stupid thing, because I think that makes them funnier. And so it's sort of flipped in a weird way that I think is more reflective of my actual life now. Because like it's obviously all internal, but I respect that person more than somebody who's silent. That's how I see it.
Do you receive some feedbacks from these kind of social/political cartoons?
Yeah, occasionally. Occasionally I'll get some moody dude who's like from the manosphere and saying, you know, not all men kind of thing. But it's really rare. It's really rare, honestly. I'm a, as you say, cis white het man, and I have a very easy time on the internet because of it. But occasionally I'll get some dickhead, calling me out.
And there's one cartoon when you, which I also like there's a father speaking to his son and telling like, we have to keep the turtles here because in the wilderness they would do they wouldn't survive. And then we see like
that's in the bonus section. That's
in the bonus section.
Yeah.
And there are the turtles like at the White House. Let's say, do you want to tackle the actual political background of the world with your cartoons, or is it something that you try to avoid?
I don't actively avoid it, but there are some fantastic political cartoonists, and I don't think I'm one of them. I think just I struggle to be funny with political cartoons a lot of the time. Occasionally one will come up that I'll do, but a lot of the political cartoons when I do them just feel like me referencing that here's somebody that I don't like, and it feels like that's not funny in a way. Like I might as well just like slip a piece of paper across that says I don't like Trump. You know what I mean? That's how valuable that cartoon is. And sometimes it's just in me. I just has to come out and I have to do it. But yeah, it's not something that I actively avoid. I just don't sort of naturally lean towards it. I'm trying to do the stuff that makes me laugh, and
and is it hard to keep finding something funny in 2025 with all that has been going through, all we've been going through in the whole year? I don't know if you can still find something to draw about, and try to be funny about. Where like we've got Trump, we've got I don't know how it's going in the United Kingdom.
Oh right, sorry, yeah.
Oh, so you know where you live actually?
Okay, yeah. It's is it? Well, I'm a weird sort of cartoonist in the sense that mine aren't always funny. There is sometimes, like you say, there's a sadness in there, and I can, because of my comedic style or my voice, I can get away with making a point rather than just being funny. And so sometimes, even if it's not like overtly about the hard times in the world, I can make a cartoon that's a bit darker, that is more of an observation than an out and out joke. And so yeah, that's usually how I go about it. But yeah, otherwise, you know, I've got a mental illness where I think about jokes all the time, and so, you know, comes naturally.
It goes naturally.
Yeah.
All right. And since we haven't spoke about your so we spoke last year about your next graphic novel, which would be maybe just a novel and not graphic at all. How is it going now?
Well, now there's two happening, where one is a graphic novel and one is not a novel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you choose the both option.
Yeah.
The lazy option, actually. Like,
It's lazy to do both. How is that lazy?
No, but like, do you like vanilla or chocolate? Yeah, like both. Yeah, no, but you have to choose at some point. You can't have both.
That is true. I'm the least decisive person in the world, so I just said yes to both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was writing a book. I was writing a book that was just a straight novel, because I want to do that and I want to test myself. I think I could do a good one. But then I had an idea that felt so visual that I just had to do it as a graphic novel. So I'm working on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit what it's going to be? What it's going to be about?
A little bit. It's about
drawings, and when you turn the page, it tells a story, and
and another drawing, and then it sort of resolves in an emotional way. That's what
Well,
it's about.
thank you. It seems really interesting.
It'll be about like friendship and importantly like permission to be creative. I have a big old chip on my shoulder about people feeling like they need permission or qualification to be creative and artistic, and it's about sort of not needing that and claiming creativity as your own.
All right. Well, as a bonus section, you had a story about you feeding snakes, I think. So you have to tell me that.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a sequel to the baby hamster zombies story.
Yeah, a sequel to that and a callback to what I said about before. So I wrote this book about looking after a snake.
Yeah.
And then when I was 21, my sister presented me with a real snake as a present.
Was it a big one?
No, it was small.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
beginner's snake. It was
Okay.
about this big. But I didn't ask for it. It was a complete surprise. So I had to be the weird snake guy at university. And the point is that it was so small that to feed it, I would have to go to the pet shop and buy frozen dead baby mice, like naked, blind, tiny little mice. And even they were too big, and I would have to slice them in half right down the line. And and then feed it to him. And whenever I would do it, there would be this like little, because they were frozen, there would be this little white bit that was there when it was frozen, and then it would disappear when they sort of thawed out. And I went back when I went back to the pet shop, I was like, what's that white bit that disappears every time? And the dude was like, oh, that's its last meal. It's milk from its mother. And I was like, fuck this.
That is the darkest story I've ever heard.
And I got rid of the snake soon after that. I was like, this is too sad. I can't do this.
Okay, that's dark. Thank you so much for your time, Will.
What a note to end on that is.
Yeah, sure. That's the best way to end the podcast. Thank you so much. I hope we speak soon about your next graphic novel.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Will McPhail.
And what are the other words in French that you know?
Quand j'étais plus jeune. That's about
That's
as much as
it.
I can do.
You can't even finish your sentence.
I can. I'm just on the spot.
Yeah, that's quite lame.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed. So okay, so you're really like no, okay, so you're putting out a condom while doing the interview.
See if it was legit.
We're not having sex right now, Will, you know. We can't do that. No, you don't. No.
This is how you learn to put a condom.
Okay, so let me take a picture because that's how we want to remember you.
Okay.
If you die tomorrow. Okay.
This stops me saying anything too dangerous.
Yeah. So
it sort of
okay, can you put it away, please?
Sorry, 1 sec.
So I'll just start with my short introduction in French, where you just put out the condom away, and then we start the interview.
Yeah.